Come. All right. She wanted me to tell you that God put this message on her heart because Joseph in the Bible went through a lot, but it turned out to be a miracle. And when she heard about Pastor Jerry's story, she, in Miss Bree's class, said, I want to pray right now, in the middle of class. And we recorded it, I sent it to Pastor Denise, and she just prayed a faithful prayer to the Lord that he would be healed. And so after she got the good report, she said, I want to preach on this. So here's Miss Jordan. I'm going to sit here right support her. Got this.
Something bad happened to Joseph, but it turned out as a miracle. In the land of Canaan, there lived a man named Jacob with his 12 sons. One of his sons, Joseph, had two dreams one night. One of his dreams that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. In his other dream, that they were out bundling piles of wheat, and their pile of wheat bowed down to Joseph's pile of wheat. When he told his brothers couldn't even speak peaceably to him because they couldn't even speak one kind thing to him. One day, Jacob told his 12 brothers to go to this place and bring the sheep there. So they did. And when a couple days later, he called Joseph to come to them. So they can check on his brothers. So they went. When Joseph went, he looked around in the fields and he didn't see his brothers. And a man asked him, "Who are you looking for?" And he said, "I'm the son of Jacob. I have come to see my brothers." And he said, they went to a different place. So Joseph went, and when he was in a way, his brothers said in his heart, "There's the dreamer. Let's just take the life of him." But his oldest brother, Reuben, told, "Let's not do that. Here's a dirty pit, and if he happens to die, he happens to die." And so when Joseph came, they took off the coat, and they put Joseph in the dirty pit. But Reuben didn't really mean that. He mean when the brothers were away, he would come back and rescue Joseph and take him out and bring him back to his father. And then, while Reuben was taking care of the sheep, the 10 brothers saw some Ishmaelites going to a faraway country. So they said, "Let's just sell Joseph, and we're not going to feed him any water or food, so he'll probably die soon." So they sold him for 20 pieces of silver. And when Reuben came back to the well, he found that Joseph wasn't there, and he said, "Joseph, I have came to rescue Joseph." But Joseph wasn't there. And when the 10 brothers came back, they said, "Good news, that little dreamer is gone. He's no longer here. We sold him for 20 pieces of silver." And Reuben said, "What are we going to tell our father?" And they said, "We'll think of a plan." And then they said, "Let's just put goat blood on it and rip it all up and show it to our father." So they did that, and they let their father believe that lie. And then when Joseph got there, he was sold as Potiphar's slave, and he started as little jobs to bigger until Potiphar put him in charge of the whole house. And there was only one person that didn't do the right thing. And he said to Joseph, "Do what's wrong with me." And after day after day after day after day, Joseph still had to say no. And then at the last day, at another day,
Who was it that asked
I know. Potiphar's wife said, do it's wrong with me, and he tugged on Joseph's sweater, and Joseph had to depart from evil and do good. And then, as soon as Potiphar came home, he put Joseph in the king's prison. And then he went to the keeper of the prison, and he started as little jobs to bigger until he put him in charge of the whole entire prison. And one day, Joseph went into the prison, and he saw some two men, and he said, "What is troubling you? Something must be troubling you." So the butler told Joseph his dream that there was 3 vines of grapes, and he squeezed it into the Pharaoh's cup, and he gave it to the Pharaoh. And Joseph said, "Good news, in 3 days you will be taken out and given your job back." And then the baker started his dream and said, "I got 3 baskets on my head," and the birds started eating them all up. And Joseph sadly had to say, "In 3 days, the Pharaoh will take you out and kill you because of what you've done." And then he said to the butler, "Will you remember me and tell the Pharaoh that I have done nothing wrong?" And as Joseph said, 3 days passed, and the butler got back to his job, and the baker got taken out and killed him because of what he done. And Joseph thought to himself, any minute, someone there will take me out and get me out of here. But that's not what happened. 1 day passed, nothing happened. A week passed, nothing happened. A month passed, nothing happened. A year passed. And the Bible says 2 years passed and nothing happened. And the only time he remembered is because the Pharaoh had a troubling dream. So the butler remembered, and he said, "Remember, Pharaoh, you put me in prison a long time ago? Well, I meant a man that can probably help you out because he helped me out with my dream." So Pharaoh said, "Bring him to me. I want to see him." So Joseph got out of prison, and he went to the Pharaoh, and he said, and Pharaoh said that you can interpret my dreams. I heard that you can interpret my dreams. But Joseph corrected the Pharaoh and said, "I can't, but the God I serve can." Amen. So the Pharaoh told Joseph his 2 dreams. One of his dreams that he was standing near a river, and 7 good cows came out and was eating the grass. And then seven other cows came out, not looking cows, ugly cows, and they came out and eat the 7 good cows, but nothing else happened. Then he had another dream that there were 7 good corns, and right beside it grew 7 bad corns that were not looking good and not healthy, and they eat up the 7 good corn. And Joseph said, "Good. These are very important dreams. They mean in 7 years, starting right now, there will be lots of it. Whatever you grow, it will grow. But after those 7 good years, there will be 7 years of famine, and nothing will grow whatever you grow." And so Joseph said, "I think you should get a wise man and put him in charge and build barns of wheat so you can put it in, and when it's time for the famine, you can have it." And then Pharaoh said, "I have found a man in the woods of God." But Pharaoh didn't know God. Pharaoh didn't worship the one true God, but he found a man. And then the famine came, and the brothers they found, but it wasn't just in the land of Egypt. It went to the land of Canaan, and where their brothers were. And Jacob called his 11 brothers and said, I found a man in Egypt that is powerful, and he is selling the extra wheat. And I want you to go and buy some wheat. So they went, and when they went, Joseph remembered his brothers, and they bowed down to Joseph and said, we have come from the land of Canaan, and we have come to eat food. That Joseph wanted to test his brothers, and he said, you are spies from a faraway country. You are coming to see where our weaknesses are, so you can take over our country. But he said, oh no, we just come, we're the brothers of Jacob, and we have come to get food for our family. And Joseph said, I will only put you, one of the brothers, in prison, so until you come with your youngest brother. And then Joseph put them in prison for 3 days. For 3 days, just a little, and they lived a brother in there, and they came back with the food. But Joseph said, when he was talking to his servant, he said, I want you to put the money back into their bags because I don't want them to pay for it. Because Joseph still loved his brothers, even if he did something wrong. And then when they heard the money, they opened their bags and they saw the money, and they were wondering to themselves, the Pharaoh must be wondering where this food is, where this money is. And so when they told our father, Jacob was wondering. And then when they went back, after they reached into the bag, lesser and lesser and lesser came in. And then they had to go to their brother and said, we need Benjamin to come. We need him. We will not have enough food. The famine is still strong. So they went, and they went with the Benjamin. And when Joseph saw his little brother, he ran away as fast as he can and cried because that was his little brother. And then Joseph said, you are honored. I want you to come to a banquet. So they went, and they set them in all order. And he said, I want you to give Benjamin 5 times more than his other brothers. So they did. And it was a test. The brothers could have been jealous and say, well, I'm older, I should have more. But they did it. They were glad for Benjamin. And then they went back. But Joseph said, I want you to put my silver cup in the youngest bag. So they did. And then they went back, and right behind them, they heard the hoof pit of horses, and they came and they said, what is coming? And they saw men, and they said, one of you have stolen our